The world held its collective breath as news broke of Iran's unprecedented direct attack on Israel, and more importantly, what happens next. Today, we're going to break down the long and complicated history that led to this moment, analyze the immediate triggers, and explore the potential paths this conflict could take. This isn't just a regional squabble. Its ripples could be felt across the entire globe, affecting everything from oil prices to international security. To truly understand the current tensions, we have to go back in time, all to 1979 and the Iranian Revolution. Before this seismic event, Iran, under the Shah, and Israel actually had a surprisingly cooperative, albeit quiet, relationship. They shared strategic interests, primarily containing the influence of Arab nationalist states like Egypt under Nasser. They collaborated on intelligence and even military projects. But the Islamic Revolution changed everything. The new regime in Tehran, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, adopted a fiercely anti-Israel ideology, viewing it as an illegitimate entity and a tool of Western imperialism in the Middle East. From that point on, what was once a quiet partnership transformed into a bitter and deeply ideological rivalry. This rivalry didn't immediately explode into open war. Instead, it festered and grew through proxies. This is a key concept to grasp. The proxy war. Iran couldn't, or wouldn't, attack Israel directly. So, it cultivated a network of allied groups across the region, what's often called the axis of resistance. The most prominent of these is Hezbollah in Lebanon, a powerful political and militant organization that sits right on Israel's northern border. Iran has armed, trained, and funded Hezbollah for decades, establishing a military presence there that Israel sees as a direct threat, a way to project power and pressure Israel without risking a direct howl-out war, like precision-guided missiles to Hezbollah. This shadow war has also included covert operations inside Iran itself, mysterious explosions at nuclear facilities, assassinations of key scientists and military figures, and sophisticated Both sides have been engaged in a high-stakes chess match, constantly probing and testing each other's red lines, but always stopping just short of a full-scale confrontation. It was a dangerous, but relatively stable equilibrium. So what shattered this fragile balance? But this attack was different, was a major escalation. The pressure to respond was immense. Failure to act decisively would have been seen as a sign of weakness, undermining its entire regional strategy. And so, Iran responded. On the night of April 13th, it launched a massive, coordinated attack on Israel, involving over 300 drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles. Successfully intercepted an astonishing 99% of the incoming projectiles, while there was minor damage to one airbase, and a young girl was severely injured. The attack did not cause the mass casualties or widespread destruction that might have been intended. This raises a critical question. Was this attack designed to fail? It's a complex debate. On one hand, Iran gave several days' notice of its intent to retaliate, signaling its plans through various diplomatic channels. The slow-moving drones were launched hours before the faster missiles, giving Israel and its allies ample time to prepare and track the threats. This has led many analysts to believe that Iran wanted to make a powerful statement, to restore its deterrence and satisfy domestic pressure, but without triggering a full-scale regional war that it knows it would likely lose against the combined might of Israel and the United States. It was a carefully calibrated performance of strength. On the other hand, launching over 300 sophisticated munitions is no small matter. Some argue that Iran was genuinely trying to overwhelm Israel's defenses and inflict significant damage, but simply underestimated the incredible capabilities of the Israeli-led defensive coalition. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle, a show of force intended to be spectacular, but with a built-in off-ramp to avoid catastrophic escalation. The ball was now in Israel's court. Having successfully defended itself and demonstrated its military and diplomatic superiority, there was immense international pressure on Israel to take the win and Leaders from Washington to Brussels urged restraint, fearing that a powerful Israeli counterstrike could ignite the very regional war everyone was desperate to avoid. However, within Israel's war cabinet, there was a strong push to respond. For them, allowing a direct state-on-state attack of this magnitude to go unanswered would set a dangerous precedent. It would shatter Israel's own deterrence, signaling to its enemies that they could attack its sovereign territory with relative impunity. The debate was between a massive, overwhelming response that could risk war and a more limited, calibrated strike that would send a clear message without spiraling out of control. After days of deliberation, Israel chose the latter path. In the pre-dawn hours, reports emerged of explosions near Isfahan, in central Iran. This location is strategically significant, as it's home to a major airbase and is near several of Iran's sensitive nuclear facilities. The Israeli strike appeared to be extremely limited and precise. Instead of a massive bombing campaign, it seems they used a small number of projectiles, possibly launched from aircraft outside of Iranian airspace, or even by operatives inside Iran, to hit a specific military target. The message was clear. We can reach you. We can bypass your air defenses and strike sensitive sites deep within your country, even near your nuclear program, whenever we choose. And we can do it with surgical precision, crucially, by not hitting the nuclear facilities themselves. Israel signaled that its goal was to restore deterrence, not to escalate to a nuclear crisis. Iran's official response was notably muted. State media downplayed the incident, claiming their air defenses had shot down a few small drones, and there was no significant damage. This reaction allowed both sides to step back from the brink. Israel had responded, and Iran chose not to escalate further. So, where does this leave us? The immediate crisis seems to have been contained, but the fundamental conflict is far from over. The rules of the game have changed. The old understanding that kept the shadow war from boiling over has been shattered. Iran has shown it is willing to attack Israel directly from its own territory, a red line it had never crossed before. Israel, in turn, has demonstrated its willingness and ability to strike back inside Iran. This creates a new, more dangerous, and much less predictable dynamic. The biggest fear remains a miscalculation. In this new, volatile environment, a single strike that goes wrong disrupt global oil supplies, sending energy prices and inflation soaring, and create a massive humanitarian crisis. The stakes could not be higher. For now, a fragile and tense calm has been restored. Both sides have pulled back from the edge, and the world can only hope that diplomacy and a mutual fear of annihilation will be enough to prevent the next round from becoming the last. Thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay informed.